This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at Ease, the leading online on-demand marketplace for legal California medical marijuana delivery. With California about to dive into the world of legal adult use cannabis on January 1st, Ease has been working overtime to make sure their delivery system is ready. They have a team of legal experts behind the scenes who are compiling all the various local rules and regulations for cannabis delivery in the Golden State so that when their customers log into ease.com as soon as the new year rings in, they'll get all the information they need to know about what their local options are. With some cities only allowing for medical delivery while others are permitting both adult use and medical, this is an important factor for California patients and customers. Put that power to work for you by opening up ease.com, which is spelled E-A-Z-E, ease.com. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Thursday, December 14th, 2017, and you're tuned in to episode 393 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Our top story of the day is the big news out of Colorado that embattled entrepreneur Isaac Dietrich has regained control of MassRoots, the company he started back in 2013 and that he was booted from this summer after a battle with its newly hired CEO Scott Quentin. This is a long and twisted tale that's popped up in the news a number of times over the last few months as various lawsuits and accusations of wrongdoing have flown around from both Mr. Dietrich as well as company executives. MassRoots is perhaps best known in the industry for the reported $50 million it's raised in venture capital, along with the relatively few dollars it's generated in revenue. Leafly has an excellent long-form piece up about the newest angle on the story, with Mr. Dietrich managing to fire the company's board of directors over the last few days while installing a replacement board of his choosing. As it stands now, Mr. Dietrich is back as the company's CEO, though it's hard to say what that really means given their current lack of cash and revenue. Swing over to Leafly for the full juicy read on this one. The city of Las Vegas is considering a proposal to allow for the social use of marijuana. Yesterday, the city council held a public workshop to discuss a proposed plan to allow Las Vegas businesses to open up space for their customers to consume cannabis in. According to a city attorney, final approval on the plan could come as early as March, which would place the city as the first in the nation to allow for public social use. The proposed measure would let businesses that do not serve alcohol to offer space for marijuana use, including restaurants, yoga studios, and even art classes. We'll follow along on this one as the story rolls out. Our final top story of the day is the news out of Maine that state regulators say they will start cracking down on the production of marijuana edibles and concentrates starting in February. Under current regulations, medical cannabis is only supposed to be handled by registered caregivers and, at most, one other employee. The problem with that is that not every cannabis processor and edibles and concentrates manufacturer is a caregiver. Currently, caregivers and processors skirt around the law by engaging in donation transactions where caregivers give their cannabis to processors who then do their work and give the finished products back. And when I say give, I mean give, as it's perfectly legal for cannabis to be gifted from person to person, not just sold yet. It's a bit of shammery that's worked well enough so far. But over the weekend, the Department of Health and Human Services said that starting in February, they'll be taking a harder look at how the system actually operates. As confusing as things are here, this is a good story to open up for all the details. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Ease, the leading online on-demand marketplace for legal California medical marijuana delivery. Like I mentioned at the top of the show, one of the reasons why ease.com should be one of your first go-to websites for cannabis delivery starting after January 1st is the footwork they're doing on their end to make sure their customers get all the right information about their local options. Don't be left out in the cold with other delivery services who aren't taking the time to protect their customers in the dynamic new world of Proposition 64. Find out what's available in your local area by opening up ease.com, which is spelled E-A-Z-E, ease.com. All right, time for the blitz. The World Health Organization just released a report recommending that CBD products not be considered a scheduled drug. The WHO's Expert Committee on Drug Dependence said yesterday that they would be spending more time evaluating CBD as well as traditional THC-containing marijuana, with the results of their work to be made public in May. As of today, the United Nations does not actually include CBD products on their list of scheduled drugs, but they do specify that cannabis extracts and resin are. You can open up the Cannabist to find a link to the WHO's full report. Deborah Borchardt over Green Market Report picked up on the story of the rise in pricing for publicly traded cannabis stock. According to the website marijuanaindex.com, the total price for North American marijuana stocks rose 41% in November, with Canadian companies in particular boosting their aggregated price by 52%. Tom Angel over at Marijuana Moments did the industry a good turn of service by commissioning some Photoshop magic over Twitter of an agenda caught on C-SPAN cameras held by U.S. Attorney Jeff Sessions. I reported earlier this week on Tom's catch of a video introduction held at a meeting between the Attorney General and a group of prominent marijuana prohibitionists in which the Attorney General's agenda was caught on C-SPAN cameras. While the actual meeting itself was held in private, we now have a little bit of an idea of what they talked about thanks to some well-done zooming and magnification of the agenda that was filmed under Sessions' arm. This is another good one to open up in full, but in short, the prohibitionists seem to be making the case for the Attorney General to crack down on legal cannabis. Turning to Ohio, we have news that a new school specializing in cannabis business education just got approval from the state's Board of Career Colleges and Schools, a designation that will allow them to operate as any other educational institution does. The Cleveland School of Cannabis will offer certificate programs for various aspects of marijuana business, including cultivation and entrepreneurship. Sticking in Ohio for a headline, we have news of a lawsuit filed by a losing applicant for one of that state's marijuana cultivation licenses. Yesterday, PharmaCann Ohio LLC filed suit against the state, alleging that the preference shown to minority-owned applicants was illegal. PharmaCann is upset that they were rejected for a cultivation license, while a number of lower-scoring applicants won due to the diversity of their applying team. We'll make sure to keep an eye on this one. Denver's 9 News has an important piece up looking at the conundrum that immigrants trying to secure American citizenship have over working in legal marijuana. According to federal law, anyone who's worked in the legal cannabis industry is banned from becoming a naturalized U.S. citizen. In response, a Denver-based advocacy group working with the Latino community has teamed up with the marijuana industry group to produce a video warning people about the possible consequences of getting involved with legal cannabis for hopeful new Americans. This is an issue you just need to be aware of. And finally for today, the state of California said yesterday that they plan to send out marijuana business licenses to successful applicants over email ahead of the January 1st launch of the state's legal adult use market. Those operating licenses won't be valid until the new year, but will allow the state's agency charged with overseeing their dispersal to get them out even as their office will be closed the day after New Year's. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at MJTodayDaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Ease, and to all of our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the patron listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says, Become a Patron. Become a patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.